Tonight on Hip on the Spot News. We wear the Top Gun liveries and fly higher and faster than anything. We get our luggage ready for a long travel in the South Atlantic map. We enjoy the trailing new sounds by Core for the Viper and Tomcat. And we prepare for the next big open beta patch. This and more on How I Play. Hello virtual pilots, I'm Andre Celesti, and tonight we are going to talk about the latest news in DCS world and more. And we start with a Mi-24P Hind that recently received more trim settings and the new micro switch that came out with the latest open beta. It made sure we have more options due to limitations of current spring joysticks on the market that requires a few workarounds to be used properly, like the real-life surface controllers on an helicopter. Wolfpack released a video explaining the new implementations for the Hind. Make sure you check it out for better understanding the new trimmer modes. Link is in the video description. Then we recently learned that ED had completed the Air-60M air-to-air missiles and the Cord machine gun installation for the Hind. And the focus now is for the gunner animations. Looking forward seeing it in action. Sticking with helicopters in DCS world, we got a small mention of the development progress for the KA-50 Black Shark 3. It is currently working on the Inertial Navigation System, or the INS. They have achieved the realistic error accumulation effect as well as the physical alignment of the gyro-stabilized platform when the helicopter is started. This means it will be necessary that the helicopter remains stationary throughout the alignment procedure. Otherwise, a less accurate alignment will lead to an accelerated accumulations of errors. The module will feature 3 different alignment options. Fast allows you to take off rapidly, but it provides low accuracy during the flight. Normal and precise provide better accuracy with greater alignment times. When using INS for long flights, correction fixed taking points will be available, with reference points on the ground that will make it possible to eliminate accumulated errors in 2 ways: by flying over the landmark or by using the squall tracking of the reference point located away from the route. So we can expect that the navigation in the KA-50 will become more realistic in the nearby future. So for those of you who are Top Gun fans, I hope you had a great time at the cinema and enjoyed the new long-awaited Top Gun 2 movie. I know I did. DCS celebrated the new release of the movie with a free new livery pack for the F-18C Hornet and the F-14 Tomcat, alongside a Maverick Legacy bundle that was available somewhere last weekend. And for those of you flying also in Microsoft Flight Simulator, we got a free update containing a few challenges in the Super Hornet, but at current time of recording this video, it has a few issues with the heads-up display. It renders the challenge almost worthless as you are getting the countdown numbers through the course. I hope they fix it soon. The only great experience was the hypersonic stratosphere flight that kept me adjusting trajectory and level for 40 minutes to fly from coast to coast in the US. Same as the others, Ace of Combat 7 has a Top Gun Maverick aircraft set, so everybody is celebrating one way or another the release of Top Gun 2. Now back to DCS world and sticking with the F-18C Hornet and the development roadmap for the module. It is adding the AIM-7P air-to-air radar-guided missile, a similar missile to the AIM-7M, but with an increased blast fragmentation warhead from 39 kg to 40 kg. They are also working on the ADM-141A Tactical Air Launch Decoy, or TALD, that can be carried on Station 2, 3, 7, and 8. The TALD can be used to create false targets for both surface-to-air and air-to-air hostile radars. This is a great tool for suppressing enemy air defenses and giving enemy fighters false targets to sort through. Matt Wagner, senior producer at Eagle Dynamics, released a video showcasing the functionality of this amazing decoy. And so, Seed Missions just got a brand new dimension, and it's great. Looking forward using it. In the meantime, we will follow closely the new additions for the Hornet whenever they get implemented. Hopefully very soon, if not already, by the time we air this video. Moving on, the F-16C Viper gets a new feature video with a GBU-24B Paveway 3 laser-guided bomb that uses a 2,000-pound class warhead, a much more advanced autopilot, and a larger control surfaces that allows a greater standoff range of greater than 11 miles when dropped high and fast. The bomb can be carried on station 3, 4, 6, and 7. Once dropped, the GBU-24 can pitch up and climb in order to increase its range. Like all laser-guided bombs, it will require laser designation of the target from your own targeting pod or a remote laser designation source. Moving on, we got an update on the work-in-progress flare image simulation. Work is progressing on the MFCD's backlighting for the 8NC2 tank killer targeting pod and infrared guiding Maverick air-to-surface missiles, whilst improving the default level and gain settings for the Hornet and the Viper flare sensors. Also, since the last update of the Viper flight performance, the devs are close to releasing the planned update for the flight control system, hopefully very soon. In the meantime, Growling Sidewinder got access to an early build with the new changes for the Viper and showcases them in one of his recent videos. Now, from the Viper to the long-awaited F1 Mirage. The module development seems to progress well. Red Kite released another video, this time showcasing the rockets, bombs and guns ground attack procedures using manual aiming with weapon release tables as well as weapon programming and setup. The module presents itself very well, and hopefully it's not long until we are able to fly it ourselves. Next up is news about the South Atlantic map that got an early access preview by, you guessed, Growling Sidewinder, that had the opportunity for a first look of the map. From everything we've seen, the map looks awesome, with a great attention to detail. The mountains in particular look amazing, and the different terrain textures that will no doubt be a great addition to our theater of war in DCS world. We also got a look at the new assets that come along with the map, including multiple ships, a carrier, ground assets, an amphibious vehicle, and lots of new stuff. Many of them not highlighted, not to spoil our experience once the map gets launched. We hope very soon. In the meantime, Razbam started releasing videos describing the cockpit system for the Strike Eagle. In case you missed them, I linked both in the video description. Next up, Letherneck Simulations just released their summer update for us, with the latest information on their progress with the F4U-1D Corsair. We get to see the animations of the hydraulic hoses in action alongside the flap control rods. They mentioned that it was time-consuming to get the current movements and that the modeling of the internal framework is progressing well. In the cockpit, we saw some raw footage of the ultraviolet lightning that reacts with the gauges and text, showcasing the light that reflects off the nearby surfaces, light bloom from tired eyes, and faint glows from distant objects as mentioned by the devs. Next, we get to see the work-in-progress Japanese assets that are nearing completion. The animations and damage models are finished, and they just require some texture adjustments, with the next step being to integrate them into the DCS environment. We got news on the Essex-class aircraft carrier as well, working being done on the AI taxi routes, parking spots, weapons and sensors, and squashing bugs, it seems. One that was causing the aircraft not to follow the elevators going down to the hangar deck. The devs are fixing a few areas on the Essex model, adding the missing deck lights, correcting a few 40mm mounting positions, and adding missing Mk51 directors. Great stuff! The Corsair is approaching slowly but steady the finish line. No important news yet on the Crusader, only that they managed to get some photos that will help them with the damage modeling. And Letherneck mentioned that some of the devs had time to check other important aspects in the cockpit, like the detailed pilot model that includes the US Navy and Marine aviators during the late 1960s. The models have been created and now they can be textured and implemented with animations. And in the end, they mentioned that work on the MiG-21 BIS cockpit is progressing well, with new pictures being prepared to recreate the 3D model and textures with photogrammetry. It's always nice to see the third-party devs hard at work preparing for us more content to enjoy in DCS world. In other news, Core released an audio update for the Viper and Tomcat with new refreshing audios for the interior and exterior sounds in these two aircrafts, alongside a launch trailer that contains a developer preview highlighting key features and discussing the mod updates in detail. We talked about the Core project in a previous video back in 2021. I also linked their YouTube channel in the video description for those of you interested in this project. The guys at Echo 19 also released a Memorial Day dedication video in honor of those who have served or are serving in our armed forces. While watching the video, I took a moment to stand and reflect at the sacrifice many armed forces did for us, our families, countries, and our world today. Now, for those of you who are Milsim fans, for sure you already know that Bohemia Interactive released a testbed for their reforger engine that will power up in future Arma 4. I managed to test it myself, and from a performance view, it definitely works some magic on the Arma experience. Sadly, the servers are having some troubles, but we are looking forward to see more improvements on it. I mention all of this as I know many of our DCS community is also playing Arma 3. And last but not the least, India Fox Echo just released the MB339 official trailer, link is in the video description. And with this occasion, I say un buon saluto per I miei amici a Ermaki, frecce tricolori. And that's it for today. Thank you all for watching. If you want to support our channel, feel free to use the thanks button that was recently implemented by YouTube. And remember to leave us a like if you find our video informative, and subscribe to keep in touch with all the latest news on your favorite simulators and games. I am Andre Celesti, reminding you to fly safe, and I'll see you next time.
Meraviglioso! Bellissimo!